Just a few weeks back, I thought I had it all. Not in some spiritual, stars-aligned kind of way, practically. Life was solid. I wasn't Bill Gates rich, but I ran my old man's manufacturing business and did just fine. Bills paid, money reinvested. A nest egg building for retirement. That reinvesting habit? Learned it from Dad. He never drew a paycheck. When he divorced his second wife, she walked away with nothing. I never questioned it. He chased women till the end. But not me. I was a family man. My wife and daughter were my whole world. Were. Now? The pride I had in them feels like a curse. Every memory with Dana and Jane replays like a bad dream, me hunting for signs I missed. Even Jane, she's the one who blew it all up. It started on a Friday. I was mowing the lawn early, getting things done before heading to a car show. My 2008 Mustang GT was already cleaned and tucked away. Jane came home, gave me a quick hug, and headed straight for her mom out on the patio. I kept an eye on them between mower passes, figured it was another money request. But this wasn't a casual chat. Their tone was sharp. I edged closer, and that's when I heard it. "Jane, how could you be so stupid?" Dana snapped. "Come on, Mom, it was just one time," Jane groaned. "It wasn't even that different. Just more exciting. I'm not leaving James. He's just boring sometimes. He's your husband. He loves you. If you're bored, fix it. I can't believe you did this." I shut the mower off. They both turned, startled. Dana looked furious. Jane looked defensive. "Paul, talk some sense into your daughter," Dana barked. "She went to a party, got drunk, and slept with a stranger while James was working." "Wow, Mom," Jane snapped. "Why don't you announce it to the whole neighborhood?" Then she looked right at me, ice cold. "You two are still together? That's rich." That hit me like a punch to the ribs. Dana's face fell when she saw me stumble back a step. "It was just once," Jane rushed out. "I was drunk. I just wanted to try it again sober. It's not like I'm having a full-blown affair like you did." She turned to Dana. "And Dad forgave you, didn't he? Maybe James will too." Dana went pale. "Mom," Jane said, realizing. "Wait, you told me Dad already knew." I looked her dead in the eyes. "Burn this moment into your memory," I said. "Because that's exactly what James is going to look like when he finds out. And you're going to tell him tonight." Her face tightened. "Dad, if it's going to hurt him this much, I can't." "Then you'll lose him," I warned. "Because if he hears it from someone else, like me, it'll cut even deeper. I might even call him myself, suggest we split lawyer fees." Her eyes widened. "Why would he need a lawyer?" "Maybe for the same reason I do," I snapped. "Paul, you're upset," Dana said gently. "Damn right I am." I turned to her. "Name one thing I didn't give you. I treated you like a queen. And now? I find out I married a cheater and raised one too." Dana's voice cracked. "I know I hurt you." "Oh, you know," I barked. "I bragged about my family for years. You were the reason I worked so hard. And now?" I shook my head. "Not anymore. I'm learning to move on. And that skill's about to come in handy." I stared her down. "Who was he?" She hesitated. Tears welled up. "What does it matter?" "It matters to me. I'm going to find him. And I'm going to break him." "He's married too," she whispered. "They're struggling. Things haven't been good between them. And now ours aren't either," I said cold. They both backed off. Truth is, they probably thought I might snap, and honestly, they weren't wrong. "I'm going to Mustang Memories tomorrow," I said, trying to stay steady. "I know, honey. I'll come with you," Dana offered. "No, you won't." "What does that have to do with it?" "Don't call me honey. Call me Paul." My voice cut hard. "My father chased women. I don't. But like him, I don't keep people around who betray me. You're not coming with me. The next time we meet, we'll be in court." "Paul, please," she begged through sobs. I said, "I'm sorry. Can't we talk?" "Sorry doesn't fix this," I said cold. "And this is the only talk we're going to have." She stepped toward me. "Paul, if we don't talk, how do we fix this?" I raised a hand, cutting her off. "Say sorry one more time, and I swear I'll lose it. The neighbors already heard how sorry you are. We're done." I turned away. My voice left no room for discussion. "After the show tomorrow, I'm filing for divorce. Be gone when I get back." "No," Dana cried. "Paul, I love you. And I didn't want to be married to a liar." I shot her that line without blinking. But here we are. Tears streamed down her face. "We can work through this. You already had your chance." My voice was ice. "When I asked who he was and you stayed quiet, that was your choice. You protected him, not us. But No, I cut her off. You cared more about his marriage than ours. That was your mistake. I'll sue him for wrecking ours, I added. And I'll get his wife to testify. If she can't afford a divorce, I'll pay for it. She just stared at me, like I was someone she'd never met before. And maybe I was, because I wasn't that same man anymore. I'm finishing the yard, I said, heading for the door. Then I'm checking into a hotel. After the show, I expect you gone. Paul, please, she whimpered, but I fired up the mower. Just before I restarted, I looked at Jane. Jane, tell James. If you don't, I will. Then I turned the mower back on. Circling the yard, it hit me. The sheer absurdity of it all. Mowing grass. Prepping for a car show. But this wasn't denial. It was survival. Routine was the only thing keeping me from unraveling. Behind me, I could hear Dana and Jane arguing on the patio. Eventually, Jane stormed off. Dana stayed. She watched me the whole time, eyes full of regret. Every pass I made, she looked like she wanted to speak. I didn't give her the chance. When I finished, I parked the mower and went upstairs to pack. Paul, can we talk? She asked quietly. I turned, stared at her. What are you doing? Just taking one last look at my home, I said. With you in it. We can fix this, she whispered, her voice trembling. Only if both people want to try. I'm done. Our Ohio home was about an hour and a half from Detroit. That's where the Mustang Memories event was, right at Ford HQ. Not just Mustangs, it was a full-on showcase. Even a NASCAR race after. Honestly, it felt like the perfect distraction. With how much free time I'd have now, why not? All those years I sacrificed for my family, none of it mattered anymore. As I drove, my mind drifted back to college. The night I met Dana. Crowded house party. Loud music. I saw her across the room, jet black hair, piercing blue eyes. She was holding hands with some huge guy who looked like he barely noticed her. Then he disappeared. So I made my move. I walked up, handed her a cold beer. I don't drink, she said, eyeing the bottle. Good, I replied with a small grin, holding up another. Neither do I. But I might need both of these. She tilted her head. Why's that? To calm my nerves. She smiled. What could you be nervous about? Standing next to the most beautiful woman on the planet. That smile grew, but then turned soft. Too bad not everyone thinks so. And you won't be around long. I'll stay as long as you let me. I wouldn't mind, she said, almost to herself. But I'm not the one you need to worry about. I have a boyfriend. I shrugged. If you're laughing when you say that, maybe it's time you found someone who takes you seriously. Her smile flickered, then faded. She closed her eyes. He's twice your size. So? She opened them slowly. He's standing right behind you. I turned. Yep. Huge. Pissed. I stayed calm. Handed him a beer. He cracked it open, chugged it in 2 gulps, let out 2 loud burps. His buddies were impressed. Why are you talking to my girl? He asked, stepping closer. You know that's rude, right? I said. This is a party. I brought you a beer. Maybe go grab one for me too. He blinked, muttered something, and wandered off. See ya, he grunted at Dana. She smiled. I handed her the second bottle. If he can't find another, give him this one. After that night, we saw more of each other. Dana was sweet, loyal, beautiful, and completely wasted on David. David was a slow, bulky lineman with dreams of going pro. Girls clung to him for the spotlight, and he never said no. Once, I even saw him sneak off with a heavy-set blonde while Dana sat inside, waiting. Dana was smart, but she played it small, easy classes, no major, no real plan. One night, she called me. Probably another night David was off chasing someone else. You must think I'm pathetic, she said. Talking to you every night, knowing David's cheating. I don't think you're stupid, I told her. Some choices confuse me. But I'll be honest, I don't mind David cheating. It gives me more time with you. Why? I thought we were just friends. That's the problem, I said. I want more. I was hoping the more time we spent together, the more obvious it'd be. I'm the better choice. She went quiet. Besides David, what else surprises you about me? Your classes, I said. You're smart, but you're not pushing yourself. She smiled faintly. I don't want a career. I just want to be a great wife and mom. I stared at her. Then why take these classes? She shrugged, arms folded. David had to stay in school to stay on the team, so I took the same classes. I wrote his papers, he bombed tests, and teachers blamed test anxiety. They gave him makeup work. He barely scraped by. So the plan was, he makes it to the NFL, and you two live happily ever after? Exactly, she said, voice bitter. Until he cheats. First with the cleaning lady, then neighbors, then teachers. Dana, come on. He'll stop once we're married, she muttered. Even she didn't believe it. You deserve better. Our eyes locked. Then she kissed me. Not fast. Not confused. It was deep. Real. Electric. But before I could react, she pulled away, breath shaky. No. You need someone who sees you, Dana, I said. Someone who won't drop you the second a blonde bats her lashes. Someone who stays. She tried to joke. So, you like dark-haired girls, huh? This isn't about sex, I said, firm. I've never crossed a line. She looked confused. Then what is this? Why are you always around? If you want me gone, I said quietly, just say it. She didn't say a word. My tone softened. I'm here because I love you. I have since the night I saw you at that party. I know it's hopeless, just like you and David. But love makes you believe in impossible things. She whispered. Like what? I hesitated. Never mind. I've had enough for tonight. I turned to go. Paul, will you see me tomorrow? I smiled faintly. That's the thing about love. You keep coming back, even when it hurts. And just like that, 2 years passed. I stayed loyal to someone engaged to someone else. Missed out on real chances. I wasn't unattractive. I just wasn't interested in anyone else. No one was Dana Patowski. Then things started to shift. That Christmas, she gave me cologne. Wear it for me, she said. Could have smelled like trash. I still would have worn it daily. On the last day of school, she reached for my hand as the final bell echoed. Don't wear it for other girls, she whispered, staring at the bracelet she gave me. I won't, I said softly, my heart already aching at the goodbye. I'm going to miss you so much. It's only 3 months, I said, trying to stay steady. I'll be working, saving up, and when fall comes, you'll be back, waiting for David, and maybe we'll get more time. She shook her head, blinking back tears. 3 months feels too long. I squeezed her hand. It'll fly by. Her voice broke. Damn it, Paul? I think I love you too. Why does life have to be so hard? She burst into tears, pressed something into my palm, and ran. I stood frozen. She loves me? In my hand. A note. Her number. 1 line. Call me. And I did. Back then, long distance wasn't cheap. I probably spent a quarter of my summer pay calling Missouri. And yet, I talked to her more than David did, and he lived next door. When I got back that fall, I barely unpacked before a knock shook the door. I opened it, and there was David. A human brick wall. Where have you been? He barked. Whatever you think I did, I didn't. I just got here. That's the problem, he muttered. Been here 3 days, haven't had a second to myself. I need you to do what you did last year. And that is, hang out with Dana. Keep other guys off her. Let me focus on training. Once we're married, football's all I got. I owe you, man. When I signed that multi-million-dollar NBA deal, I'll cut you in. I stared at him. Right, because I'm your boyfriend. He didn't get it. Just turned to leave. I couldn't help myself. Hey, David. He looked back. NBA's basketball. You play football. That's the NFL. He frowned. Which one's the car thing? NHL, right? Nope. Damn it. My brother told me that. I'm gonna kick his ass. He stormed off. 20 minutes later, Dana showed up. That final year changed everything. We were inseparable. When we weren't in class, we were kissing. By spring, it turned physical, though I never pressured her. Every goodbye got harder. I want you so much, she told me. Kissing you is better than sex with David. If we ever did sleep together, it'd be incredible. You've only been with him once? She nodded. I keep wishing summer wouldn't come, she sighed. The draft's soon. If David gets picked, we move, and I lose you. But I love you, Paul. My heart almost exploded. I loved her too. But I told myself maybe summer would help me move on. Then came the twist. David didn't get drafted. Not one round. No invites. No callbacks. He even asked me to cold call Canadian teams. I actually reached someone in Ottawa. I'm calling for David Williams. Who? Click. Soon after, I got access to David's scouting profile. Brutal. He had the size, but no speed, no brains. Teams had years of tape showing how irrelevant he'd become. He wasn't getting blocked. He was getting ignored. David didn't just fail, he crumbled. No degree, no plan, no eligibility. He stopped going to class, started drinking, spiraled hard. Dana? Barely flinched. In a way, it's a blessing, she told me. Now I don't have to leave you. I could hardly believe what I was hearing. He'll figure things out, she added quickly. But right now, I just want more time with you. From the beginning, she was the dream I thought I'd never reach. Even after she said she loved me, part of me didn't believe it. But now, it felt real. Still, love only means something if you're willing to fight for it. Don't look at me like that, you idiot, she said. I told you I love you. But I also love him. I froze. I didn't think it was possible to love two people, she whispered. But I swear I do. I'm still marrying David, because it's what everyone expects. If I don't, it feels like my whole world falls apart. She didn't sound convinced. Not at all. For 2 years, she'd spent more time with me than him. David was never around, always training, cheating, or both. I convinced myself if I stayed patient, she'd choose me. Truth is, I never planned to let her go. But love, real love, means you want their happiness more than your own. So I didn't push. I waited. I hoped. And somehow I got lucky. It didn't flip overnight. It was slow, messy, real. The first shift? They chose not to move back to Missouri. David didn't want to return a failure. They stayed in Illinois. He bounced between dead-end jobs, still clinging to NFL dreams, but no speed, no drive, no options. CFL, Arena League, nothing stuck. He kept eating like he was training, just without the training. Within 8 months, the guy looked like a marshmallow. The one upside? I saw Dana more than ever. She never badmouthed David, but she told me she loved me. Every day? The first crack came when she admitted she was waitressing, and it was tougher than she thought. They needed her income just to pay rent. Then one afternoon, I got a call at work. Dana, crying, panicked. I'd never been to their place, just knew it was about an hour away. By then, I'd been running the family business for 3 months. Before that, I worked outside the company after college, something my family hated. I wanted to earn my own stripes. My older brother Scott became a teacher. My younger brother Leo, a writer. Neither lifted a finger for the business, but they sure cashed their dividend checks. When my dad's health started failing, everyone assumed I'd step in. I'd worked summers, knew the ropes. One day he sat me down. You're wasting your time, he said. You're just another middle manager, answering to people who've never set foot on a factory floor. Why settle? It's your company. Your brothers don't care, take it. He lived another 3 years, long enough to meet his granddaughter. During that time, he taught me everything. How he'd protected the company through a family trust. How he lived like a king while reporting $200 per week on paper. Not exactly ethical, but smart. No woman's taking a dime from me again, he'd said. But nothing prepared me for Dana's apartment. It was a dump. I didn't even want to park my Mustang nearby. She was sitting on a bench outside, crying, suitcase at her feet. When she saw me, she ran to the car. Then David's head popped out the window. Take her, he yelled. She's worthless. Just wanted to live off me anyway. If you want a woman who only shows up when she needs something, go ahead. She's all yours. Then he slammed the window. I never saw him again. On the drive back, Dana told me everything. 2 double shifts in 24 hours. Came home to find David in bed with another woman. She was in my robe, Dana whispered, reading my bridal magazines. David laughed when she confronted him. Told her she was dumb for thinking he'd ever change. It's cheaper having sex at home, he'd said. Why waste money on motels? That broke her. She packed a bag and called me. I brought her to my office. We had lunch, just the 2 of us. I offered to fly her back to Missouri. She said she needed a week. Just time to think. One last chance to see if David would change. I already knew the answer. That same afternoon, I handed her my credit card. Told my assistant to take her shopping. Moved her into my guest room. She never left. It felt natural, like we were never apart. She just didn't go back. A few weeks later, I brought her to a family event. My stepmother pulled me aside. Don't let her go, she said. She's the one. Before I could respond, Dana turned to me. I've just been waiting for you to ask. Shocked, I dropped to one knee. Dana, I don't have a ring yet. But if you say yes, we'll pick one out first thing in the morning. Will you? Yes, she shouted before I could finish. The next day, wedding plans were in full swing. My stepmother, Dana, and my sisters dove in head first. Dana called her parents. They flew in that weekend. Her dad pulled me aside after visiting David. He shook my hand, gave his blessing. Said nothing about what he told David. But from the look on his face, that man had crossed a line his daughter's father would never forgive. For 25 years, I thought I kept my promise. Thought I made Dana the happiest woman alive. Clearly, I was wrong. The drive to Michigan was a blur. My Mustang flew down the freeway. I kept glancing at the speedometer, forcing myself to ease off the gas. Found a motel near Dearborn. Checked in. Set the alarm for 8. Phone rang at 7. Hello? I croaked. You sound as bad as I feel, Dana said. Have you calmed down enough to talk? I don't want to talk, I said flatly. I gave you everything. I never said no. I tried to build a perfect life around you. And we had one, she rushed out. Paul, we were together nearly 30 years. That counts for something. No, it doesn't, I said. Because it was built on a lie. Paul, I heard you and Jane. That wasn't some one-night mistake. It was an emotional affair, long and deep. While I was giving everything to you, you were giving yourself to someone else. That's not it. But that's how it feels, I cut in. Like being punched by the one person you trust most. She went silent. Paul, please. No. The only thing left to say is what I already told you. Pack your stuff. Be gone before I get home. After that, we'll talk through lawyers. You'd throw away 30 years over this, she cried. I'll stop. I swear. We'll get through it. That's the dumbest thing you could have said, I snapped. What? Saying, I'll stop, means it's still happening. Don't stop. Go be with him. I'm almost 50. I'm done wasting time on cheaters. I need someone who's with me, not against me. I hung up before she could reply. She called again. I blocked her. At the show, I stuck to my routine, cleaned the car, checked the tires, polished every inch of the Mustang, walked the lot, took photos, smiled politely, didn't engage. Normally, Dana would have been with me, talking to other wives, chatting about family and travel. Not this year. Where's your wife? Someone asked. At home, I said, tight-lipped. Inside, I was aching. A Dana-shaped hole in my chest. That night, I ate alone at the motel. Usually, we'd drive home after the show. This time, I stayed. No reason to rush. When I pulled in the next afternoon, I noticed her car was still there, and so were a rental and my brother-in-law's. At first, I figured maybe she rented a car, and James came by to talk about Jane. I was wrong. Inside were Jane and James. Dana's parents, too, looking uncomfortable. Dana sat between Jane and her mom, both trying to comfort her. Everything will be fine, her mom whispered. I didn't even close the door. Why are you still here? Everyone looked up, startled by my cold tone. You can keep the car, I added. It was a gift, but you'll need your own insurance. I'll finish paying the loan. Paul, her dad said gently, let's talk. You've always been a great son-in-law. I was relieved when Dana chose you instead of that damn football player. Honestly, I cut in. I wish she had married David. I'd have found someone else and avoided all this. He gave a sad smile. Every couple goes through stuff. Dana's mom and I nearly split after I gambled away a paycheck in Vegas. This is nothing compared to that. Nothing? I barked. She's been having an affair. Not a one-time thing, a long one. What? He blinked. I thought. Nope. Your daughter's been cheating for a while. I found out yesterday while she was scolding Jane for her mistake. Jane went pale. Jane. James asked. He's lying, right? She looked down. Said nothing. Dana broke into sobs. Clearly, she hadn't told her parents anything. James and Jane started yelling. I walked upstairs to unpack. Dana followed. Are you happy now? She hissed. You made me look like a hooker in front of my parents. You ruined our daughter's marriage. I turned calmly. I told them the truth, something you still won't do. You never explained your affair. I don't even care about the details anymore. I just want you gone. As for Jane, I added, I warned her. Told her to tell James. She didn't, so I did. I stepped into the garage focused. Pulled the car wash kit and rolled it to the driveway. Sun was low. Perfect golden light. I got to work. Behind me, I heard a voice. You really think now's the time to wash your car? I turned slightly. My father-in-law stood at the edge of the driveway, arms crossed. Tomorrow's Monday, I replied. I've got work. My car's dusty. Too beautiful to leave dirty. He hesitated. Don't you think you should talk things through with Dana? There's nothing to work out, I said, not looking up. It's already done. Just like that. Exactly like that. I finally looked at him. I asked her who she cheated with. She wouldn't say. That told me everything. Protecting him meant more than saving us. I stepped back, exhaled. I thought she was the love of my life. I gave her everything. And while I was doing that, she was cheating. Who knows for how long? She called yesterday. Apologized. That's when it hit me. She's still seeing him. He didn't answer. Just stared. There's nothing left to fix, I said quietly. Take her with you when you leave. I'm done wasting my life on a liar. He stepped closer, voice low. I'm a lawyer. I know how these things go. I'm angry too, believe me. But I know Dana still loves you. I told her not to move out. Court will handle it. Staying gives you the best chance to talk. I'm going to block the divorce petition and request counseling. I paused, hands on my hips. Turned fully to face him. No court's forcing me to take back a cheater. She said she'll stop. I turned on the hose. Let the water run. Try whatever you want, I said. Then went back to scrubbing. He walked off, frustrated. A few minutes later, Jane came outside. Her eyes red. How could you, she asked. I didn't answer. Just kept washing, waxing, polishing. They all watched like I was putting on a show. I didn't care. The only thing that still made sense was my car. Later, I finished packing, grabbed another suitcase from the closet, and started filling it. Dana stood in the doorway, arms crossed. I'm not leaving, she said firm. My dad says any decent lawyer would say the same. So unless you drag me out, I'm staying. I didn't even look up. We can't talk without fighting. And I'm not stupid enough to lay a hand on you. I'll wait for the court to order you out. Until then, I'll live somewhere else. You can't just run away, she yelled. We have to fix this. It can't be fixed, I said coldly. You just don't want to fix it. I'm not the one who broke it, I added. My lawyer will contact your dad after I hire one. Probably tomorrow. I don't want. We've already talked about this. I was shaking inside, but kept my voice calm. I wouldn't let her see how much she'd broken me. Right then, my phone rang. An unexpected lifeline. Neighbor from the lake house. Paul, the grass at your cabin's gotten out of control, he said. It's a fire hazard. Want me to mow it? Yeah, go ahead, I said, already grabbing my keys. I'll stop by tomorrow to pay you. You don't have to. Just mail it. No, I said. I'll come in person. I hadn't planned on staying there. But now, I needed to breathe. I planned on staying in a motel until the eviction played out. But the lake cabin, quiet, small, just me, suddenly felt like the perfect escape. She could stay at the main house. I'd take the dacha. It had a kitchen, working TV, and I could get the internet running again. Only downside, a 45-minute drive. But driving? I loved it. Next morning, after checking the production floor, I called my lawyer. He didn't do divorces, but referred me to someone who did. The new guy took the case without blinking. He laid out 2 paths. File on grounds of infidelity. Give her nothing but the car and her stuff. Go no fault. Small settlement, clean break. He also warned me, don't ask who the guy was. It won't help. He'd handled hundreds of divorces. Told me the same truth he gives everyone. Most marriages die from bad choices, not villains. The happiest clients move on. The bitter ones age faster and die miserable. I didn't fully get it yet, but I nodded. Wrote the check. He said we'd meet Dana and her father in a few days. I gave him her dad's number. I tried focusing on work the rest of the day. Thought keeping a routine would help. It didn't. Right before lunch, Anita buzzed. You've got a call. She'd been my secretary since I took over the company. Usually blocked Dana's calls. So I picked up, thinking it was a client. Paul Carter. Dana Carter, she answered. Her voice tried to sound light. Trying to talk some sense into her husband. You really called just to ask if I've hired a lawyer? Paul, I can't believe you went that far. I did, I said flat. That's what people do when they're getting divorced. Dad told me your plan. Refusing to talk, filing court petitions, dragging this out. Don't call me honey. Save that for the guy you slept with. Silence. Then, softly. I only stayed in the house so we could talk. Dad and I thought with time, you'd calm down. When I found out, Dana, I asked one thing. Who was he? You said nothing. I paused. Let that silence hang. You protected him over us. So I hope he's worth it. Because when this is over, you're out, and all you're getting is what the law says you can have. Her voice cracked. You can't mean that. I don't care anymore. My lawyer's right. I need a clean slate. That's what I want too, she jumped in. We can work through this, Paul. You don't get it, I said. I want a new beginning. One without you. I need someone I can trust. Someone who actually loves me back. We're not done, Paul. Her voice trembled. We've been through too much. We have a child. Goodbye, Dana. I hung up. 3 hours later, my phone rang again. Jane. Dad? Why are you doing this? She asked quietly. Doesn't Mom deserve better after all these years? I kept calm. When someone cheats for years, they don't deserve better. They deserve consequences. I never mistreated your mom. I loved her. I stayed loyal. If anyone deserves better, it's me. She went silent. I pressed. Let me ask you, if I'd been cheating for years, sleeping with secretaries or clients, whose side would you be on? Probably mom's, she admitted. But I'd still want you two to stay together. No kid wants their parents to split up. Then why aren't you on my side now? I didn't cheat. Pause. Maybe, because it feels like my fault, she whispered. If I hadn't said what I did, maybe none of this would have come out. So I'd still be clueless? How is that better? Mom said it was over. Said you already knew. Was I a bad father, Jane? No. Never, she said quickly. Her voice cracked. I should have told you. But I didn't want you to tell James. He's so hurt now. He should be. But he loves you. He might forgive you. But you still cheated, Jane. That pain doesn't just go away. I was drunk. Jane, stop. My tone hardened. You're an adult. If your husband's not around, you don't drink. And you don't lie to yourself. You told your mom you weren't that drunk. You even said you wanted to try it again. You knew exactly what you were doing. She sniffled. I've learned my lesson. I didn't realize how much James does for me, how tired he is, working overtime. Glad you see that now. She hesitated. What about Mom? She asked. She wants to fix things too. This is different, I said. Your mom wasn't drunk. She wasn't confused. She knowingly betrayed me. Over and over. She loves you, Dad. I don't think she can handle this without you. That's not my problem anymore, I said. She's got someone else now. Let him take care of her. I'm not going to be the third wheel in a triangle. I'm moving forward. I hope things work out with James, I added gently. Take care, sweetheart. 3 days later, we were sitting across from each other in my lawyer's office. She looked good, styled hair, fresh outfit. Still beautiful, just older. I stared. What are you looking at? She asked. Just thinking how beautiful you still are, I said. And wondering how I'm supposed to get over you. You don't have to, she whispered. I do, I said firmly. It'll take time. But I'll be okay. Her smile faded. Paul, we need to stop this before it's too late. My lawyer cut in. My client is here to discuss options. He's been reasonable and is offering a choice on how this proceeds. Why should I agree to any of this? She snapped. I love my husband. This is ridiculous. Dana, please, her father said quietly. My lawyer slid 2 sets of documents across the table. What's this? Her dad asked. 2 routes, my lawyer said. We recommend no fault. Fast. Clean. But if she refuses, we'll file on grounds of infidelity. Only negotiable item is the settlement amount, he added. Her dad frowned. You're kicking her out with a car and clothes? That's it. She cheated for years, I said. Still won't say who or for how long. Let him support her now. I kept my vows. I stayed loyal. I loved you too, Dana shouted. And I didn't cheat. Then what do you call sneaking around behind my back for years? I fired back. You expect me to forgive that? My lawyer raised a hand. Her father stepped in. I'm petitioning the court for mandatory counseling. They still care about each other. No need, my lawyer replied calmly. My client agrees. He'll even pay for it. You pick the counselor. No, I started, but he stopped me with a look. If counseling fails, he added, we proceed with the divorce. It's Mrs. Carter's decision. He turned to Dana. Court records are public. A fault divorce? Everyone, friends, neighbors, would know the dirty details. A no-fault divorce? You keep your privacy. Dana didn't flinch. Half the town call you a hoe, her dad said bluntly. Let them, she muttered. I'm not giving up on Paul. Her father switched gears. Where are these numbers coming from? He says he makes $200 a week, but drives that Mustang. Creative bookkeeping, my lawyer said without blinking. No kids involved. House was his before marriage. She might get $15,000 total over 3 years. That's not fair, her dad shot back. Fair. I snapped. I supported her for 25 years while she had a side thing going. I wanted a partner to grow old with, not a full-time liar and part-time wife. If this was business, I'd sue for fraud. Silence. Dana started crying. You don't understand. I love you, Paul. I always have. We can grow old together. I wanted that too, I said, but not with a third wheel in the marriage. We're getting nowhere. My lawyer cut in. If she doesn't settle after counseling, we move forward on infidelity. 3 days to name a therapist. My client will attend. Can I just tell him who it is? Dana asked. We only speak in session, I said cold. No private talks. You could stay at the house, she offered. Separate rooms. It's still your home. Not risking it, I replied. This is legal now. I've made other plans. Her voice broke. You're really walking away? You won't even try? You already broke it, I said. I'm just trying to rebuild what's left of my life. Less than an hour later, her dad and lawyer found a therapist. We met her the next day. She greeted us kindly, large woman, thick glasses, calm tone. Set your chairs anywhere, she said. Wherever feels natural. I sat across. Dana slid hers right next to mine. The therapist raised an eyebrow. Interesting. What is? I asked. Most betrayed spouses pull away. You didn't. I'm curious why. I shrugged. My goal is simple, she said. Whether you reconcile or not, I want you to leave better than you came. She turned to Dana. Why are you here? To stop the divorce. I still want our marriage. She looked at me. And you? To speed it up, I replied. Agreeing to therapy cuts 3 months off the court timeline. I want this over. So you've decided? I have. Why did the marriage fail? She cheated, I said flatly. The therapist nodded, then turned to Dana. Do you agree? No, she said firmly. He doesn't understand. I love him. I want our marriage. He doesn't understand? I snapped. I don't even know who he is. I don't know when it started. I gave her everything, and she gave me lies. You were the best husband anyone could ask for, she cried. It didn't start, Paul. It just never ended. I froze. Wait, never ended. My chair hit the floor as I stood up. It's David, isn't it? Dana broke. Full body sobs. The therapist leaned forward gently. Dana breathed. But I was already walking. Hand on the door. Mr. Carter, where are you going? This case is closed, I said calmly. You're paid in full. What does that mean? I turned just enough. When I met Dana, she was tangled up with a guy who cheated on her. Guess she never let go. We waited till marriage, not once before. But apparently, she never stopped sleeping with him. Dana sobbed. I didn't flinch. They go back longer than we ever did. And the only thing I regret was believing she was honest. What now? The therapist asked. DNA test, I said. For Jane. She's never really acted like me. If David's her father, I'll sue him for every cent I spent raising her. If all this was built on lies, I'll push for annulment. Dana married me under false pretenses. One last glance back. They might owe me hundreds of thousands. Either way, I'm done. At my lawyer's office, I told him everything. 2 days later, all hell broke loose. I was suddenly famous. Or infamous. Depends who you asked. Her dad was furious. Her mom, heartbroken. Jane, devastated. David, called, threatened me. Some random guy, asked to meet me. What for, I'll never know. Then he walked into my office. Damn it, Paul. What happened to you? I fell in love, I said. And got betrayed. Let it go. Dana's in the hospital. Do I care? I said. She cheated for 25 years. She was never mine. He sighed, sat down. Jane's still your daughter. He looked around. Got anything to drink? No, I said. Right. You don't drink. Always respected that. I looked at him. Did you ever even like me? He leaned forward. I was just surprised. Everyone thought she'd marry David. But once I saw who David really was, I was glad it was you. He paused. You made her happy, Paul. I saw it. If I'd known she was still seeing him, I'd have shut it down. He looked me dead in the eye. No matter what happened, she loves you. And Jane is your daughter. I said nothing. You don't need a test, he added. David's too dumb to be her dad. I chuckled under my breath. Doesn't matter, I said. I raised her. Gave her my values. Loved her from the day she was born. But if David's the bio dad, he owes me. I looked him dead on. You don't get it. David didn't ruin anything. She did. No, he said. David got a few guilty nights. You got the real thing. She gave you her life. Even if it was just once or twice, I said. It still wasn't right. Life's messy, he said. It's not black and white. Just think about it. She's in the hospital. Maybe she deserves a visit. Later that evening, as I walked to my car, Jane was already sitting inside. Passenger door open, tears running down her face. So, I'm not your daughter, she whispered. I'll take the test. But I've never even met that guy, Jane said, eyes wide. How could you think I belonged to him? Before I could answer, she threw her arms around me, sobbing. You'll always be my girl, I whispered, holding her tight. This isn't about you. This is about making that man pay. She pulled back. Dad, how much do you think he's even got to pay? Her voice cracked as she kept going. I asked Mom. She said he's broke, fat, bitter, still married to a trashy woman. Cheats on her too. Same old David. Even his own mother said he always used protection. Doesn't have any kids. Never has. I'm not his. Not even close. She studied my face. What's wrong? It's not you, I said quietly. It's your mom. She and I never used protection. She got on the pill and that was it. My jaw tightened. But if she was buying them for him, that means she planned to cheat. It wasn't an accident. And somehow, that hurt more than anything. I went to the hospital. Dana was awake, hooked up to machines, pale under the buzz of monitors. Her eyes locked on mine, first warm, then cold. You here to kick me while I'm down, she snapped. Your dad asked me to stop by, I said. I can leave. She didn't answer. I sat on the edge of the bed. What happened? Panic attack. They thought it was a heart attack. BP was through the roof. Her voice softened. I've only ever loved two men, she whispered. I know you think I'm trash, but I've only ever been with two people. If that makes me a hoe, I'm real bad at it. She wiped her eyes. I didn't cheat to hurt you. It just happened. She looked at the ceiling. When I met you, I was still with David. You knew, but you kept showing up. You made me feel like I mattered. Her voice cracked. Eventually, I realized I loved you too. But I never completely stopped loving him. I said nothing. We already had a life planned out. You came in like a wave. And even before we ever touched, it felt like I was cheating on him. She stared down at the blanket. You could have had me any time, she whispered. I would have said yes. But you waited. Because you were kind. She laughed, sad and hollow. And David? He cheated. We were broke. I hated that life. But when I called, you came. Like always. You made me feel like a princess. She paused. I never lied to you, Paul. I loved you. I still do. Marriage, kids, growing old. I wanted it all. Her tone shifted, defensive now. And don't look at me like that. You're still my husband. I can call you whatever I want. She tried to smile. It died fast. I had our whole wedding planned. Then David called. Said he was sorry. That he was broken. That he needed help. That I owed him one last chance. She looked away. I told him about you. He got mad. Hung up. Then called again, calmer. Said I gave you a chance, so I should give him one too. Her hands trembled. And I did. We started talking again. Then sleeping together. I closed my eyes. I didn't want to, she said. I did it out of guilt. He made me feel like I used him. Like I owed him. And I believed it. She sniffled. You gave me money. I bought a dress. Showed it to you. Gave him the rest, rent, groceries. He depended on it. He said it was all my fault. She wiped her eyes. It wasn't every week. Maybe once or twice a month. Always made him use protection. I get why you worry about Jane. You should do the test. Her voice cracked again. When it proves she's yours, I hope you apologize to her. Then something shifted in her tone, something final. I cut ties with David after Jane was born. That's when I saw him for who he was. She took a breath. He never loved me. Liked blondes. Only stayed with me because I did his homework. Came back for your money. I was too blind to see it. She stared at the ceiling like it hurt to remember. One day I brought him cash. Jane was just a few months old. We hadn't been together in months. He said I looked like a whale. Her voice turned mocking, mimicking his. I only put up with her for the money. She's not even my type. Dumb. Boring. Too emotional. Then quieter. He said that to some woman. Missing teeth. Looked me in the eye like she'd won. Dana swallowed hard. That's when I stopped answering his calls. But he started threatening me. Said he'd tell you. Her voice dropped to a whisper. So I stayed. Once or twice a month. Like it was a tax. For every 10 times I made love to you, I gave him one out of guilt. She looked up. Empty. I loved you, Paul. But a part of me wasn't ready to let him go. I stood up. Said nothing. She reached out, sobbing. Now you know everything. I walked out without looking back. 25 years later, I still knew that part of town. The area near that dump apartment. I drove slow until I found him. David. Sitting on a broken step, dragging an oxygen tank. Bloated. Gray. Missing teeth. A woman beside him looked more like a raccoon than a person. He saw me and grinned. How's our girl? That was it. I rushed him. One punch to the gut folded him. His oxygen tube flew free. He gasped. I kicked him. Hard. repeatedly. He couldn't scream, just moaned and wheezed. Then darkness. Smelling salts hit. So did cuffs. David's wife knocked me out with a porch plank. Cops pulled me up. Mustang parked out front. "You really attacked a disabled diabetic," one of them asked, disgusted. I told him the story. The betrayal. The blackmail. The lies. He didn't look convinced. "Tell it to the DA." I called my lawyer. 2 hours later, I walked free. No charges, on one condition. Talk to Dana. She confirmed the blackmail. I had leverage. In exchange for David dropping charges, I dropped mine. Honestly? Fine by me. The guy had nothing left. And with how sick he looked, he wouldn't make it another year. Dana was still in the hospital. Her dad called nonstop, begging me to cancel the divorce. "She's doing better. She's excited to see you." Then Dana called. "Come back. Don't wait a week." I went. She looked radiant, almost like the girl I met in college. "Hi, honey," she beamed. "I'm so happy." "What are you happy about?" I asked flatly. "I helped you. David's out of the picture. Jane's yours. Everything's gonna be fine." "I'd love to believe that," I said. "Yes, you helped," after I agreed to talk. "That's not love, Dana. That's leverage." She didn't speak. "And David? He's still a threat. Because you never let go. You still haven't said it's over." She blinked. "Not once have you looked me in the eye and said those words." Her mouth opened, but nothing came out. "And Jane?" I shook my head. I always knew she was mine. I just needed to scare her straight. "She got my self-awareness and your ability to justify anything." Dana started crying. "You helped me more than you know," I said quietly. "When you gave your full story to the DA, it became public record. That gave me everything I needed." Her eyes widened. "I'm filing for annulment. Fraud. This marriage was built on a lie." The heart monitor spiked. I glanced at it once. "Take care, Dana," I said, and walked out. 3 weeks later, I stood on the railing of a massive cruise ship. The ocean was calm, but it still reminded me how small I really was. I pulled my hoodie over my Dream Cruise GT 500 shirt. My phone buzzed. Local number? Probably one of my brothers. Or my lawyer. Then I felt a tug on my sleeve. I turned. No one. "That's rude," a voice said behind me. She was tiny. Barely up to my chest, maybe 4 feet 11 inches. Flame red curls, freckles, sharp green eyes. "You gonna jump?" "Hell no," I said, surprised. "Why would you ask that?" "Because if you were, I wanted your shirt," she shrugged. "No judgment. I've considered it." "That's the worst way to go," I replied. "You hit water like concrete, then freeze, then drown." "Thanks for the pep talk," she smirked. "If I spiral again, I'll find a better way." "You seem too bright to spiral," I said. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means you've got spirit. Light. Something sharp." She tilted her head. "Is this a conversation now? Because if it is, you've got 2 choices: come inside for breakfast, or give me the shirt." "I'm freezing." I smiled and offered my hand. She took it. Small. Warm. Real. Inside, we found a small restaurant. Over pancakes and coffee, we talked. "Riley Bennett," she said, shaking my hand again. "Paul Carter." She told me her story. Married her high school sweetheart. 18 years. Came home one day and found him in bed with her cousin. He blamed her height. Said they couldn't have kids. Turned out he had 2 with her cousin. He gave her this cruise as a prize from a radio contest. She took it as a one-way ticket to freedom. When I told her mine, she blinked. "Wow," she said. "What a witch." We finished breakfast. The sun was high. "What are you doing today?" I asked. "Maybe a movie." "You." "Was hoping we'd stay on deck for a while." "I like your spark." "I like you too," she said. "But I'm a redhead. I don't tan, I burn." "Then let's go indoors." She smiled. "I don't want to wait until sundown." And just like that, I was hooked. For the rest of the cruise, we were inseparable, except when we slept. We talked about everything. I even half-joked about offering her a job. But what I remember most, our last day. That's when we kissed. I knew it was wrong. I was still technically married. But it felt right. Her lips were soft, warm, tasted like cherries. The kiss deepened. Arms around my neck. Legs around my waist. "Bed," she whispered. "Screw the rules. Just live." So we did. We spent the whole day in my cabin. After a nap, she curled up beside me, holding me close. That night, we dressed up, had dinner, walked the deck in silence. One glance told the whole story. "I've never done this before," she said. "You're a fast learner," I smiled. She laughed and playfully punched my arm. I was married 18 years, genius. I meant I've never felt so wanted. So seen. Sounds like goodbye, I said quietly. It's not, she said. But I've been stuck in a small Tennessee town with a man who never truly saw me. I want more. I've always wanted more. My heart dropped. She raised her chin, waiting for a goodbye kiss. A tear slipped down her cheek. I froze. Was I really doing this again? Falling fast and blind? She didn't wait. Kiss me again, a hard, deep, unapologetic. I wrapped my arms around her, held her tight. Easy, cowboy, she whispered. We're not going back to bed, but you'll get another chance. I opened my mouth, she kissed me again. I'm bad at goodbyes, she said. Don't look for me in the morning. Just remember me and live. She grabbed the shirt I gave her. Taking this back, she smiled. A little piece of you. Then she was gone. The next day was chaos. Airports, voicemails, missed calls. My lawyer, my daughter, my brothers. All angry, I'd gone dark for a week. I got home, went straight to work. My brothers, who couldn't stand each other, both showed up late and left early. One muttered, "He's an idiot." The other told me, "You better train someone else." Later, my secretary pulled me aside. "While you were gone," she said. Turns out, both of my brilliant brothers had slept with the same new receptionist, then turned on each other. The receptionist got fired, but the damage was done. The office was chaos. Now all three Carter boys were on their way to being single, just like Dad. I called my lawyer. The judge was sympathetic, but said no to an annulment too messy. He'd approve a divorce if both sides agreed to fair terms. My attorney and Dana's dad spent a week going in circles. Her dad clearly hoped she'd wear me down. Eventually, Dana agreed to move out on one condition, that I meet with her when I got back. I kept my word. Showed up at Jane's. "I'm here. What do you want to talk about?" "Us," she said softly. For 30 minutes, she tossed out every excuse in the book, anything to justify 25 years of cheating. "You were okay being with me while I was engaged to David," she argued. "But now you can't handle me spending time with a dying man? It's your ego, Paul. You shared me once. You just don't like losing." Then came her last plea. "I loved you both. Maybe you treated me better, but you had the means to. I can't abandon David. He's sick. We barely sleep together anymore." I smiled. "Funny how suddenly he's too weak to perform." She snapped. I shook my head. That cruise gave me clarity. I used to think our marriage fell apart because I wasn't enough. Now I know. "Know what?" she asked. "That I was the only one who ever tried. You never even took the one step that could have saved us." Her brow furrowed. "What step?" "Ending it with him. You're still seeing David. Still living in two worlds." She shot back. "Like you did in college when you thought he'd go pro?" I shrugged. "Doesn't matter. You don't have to choose anymore." Her voice shifted, cautious, almost hopeful. "What about the divorce?" "Forget it," I said. "Not worth the legal bills." Her eyes lit up. "I knew you'd come around. I can't wait for you to come home." "Tell that to David," I said flatly. She reached for me. I stepped back. "What's wrong?" she asked. "Just wanted a kiss." "Then kiss him," I said. "I'm not jealous, Dana. I just don't care anymore. Do whatever you want. But if we're not divorcing, does that mean we're together?" "No," I said, calm and final. "I won. You're out of my house. Now I just have to find someone who actually makes me happy and move her in." She stood there, stunned. "Tell David I said hi," I added, walking out. Outside, I saw James by the driveway. "Hey, James, how'd you like to come work for me? I need someone reliable. Someone I can trust." He looked surprised. "Let me think about it." Later that day, the voicemail started. Dana's parents were furious. With no finalized divorce, she wasn't entitled to anything. No money, no access, no support. At nearly 50, she had to move back in with them. Her constant crying was driving them nuts. David was furious too. Dana's financial lifeline had snapped. She left a string of profane voicemails using Jane's phone. Hers had been shut off. Her credit cards were declined. Locks were changed. And she finally realized, when I said I had someone new, I wasn't bluffing. That Saturday evening, I was outside washing the Mustang when she showed up. Not Dana, her. Wearing the sweatshirt she'd taken 8 days ago. "Wash mine next," she said, smiling. I froze. How did you?" "You told me your whole life story," she grinned. "Business name, hometown, it wasn't hard to find you. You never mentioned the Mustang, though." "You didn't say much either," I replied. "Why do you think I wanted the t-shirt?" I smiled. So, why are you here? Not passing through, she said, voice soft now. I'm staying. I thought you wanted to see the world. So did I. But 6 hours after I left, I realized I'd made a mistake. She stepped closer. I kept arguing with myself. Thought maybe it was too soon. I just got out of a bad marriage. But then I remembered how you made me feel in 1 week, better than I had in 18 years. That felt worth staying for. Now she was close. Warm. Real. And then I had another debate, she said. You never told me you loved me. Never said you wanted more. Just said I was quite nice. But I saw it in your eyes. You didn't want me to go. She wrapped her arms around me. I held her. Got a receptionist position open, I whispered, joking. She kissed me cherry again. You can't have it, I said. Why not? She asked, playful. If I looked at you all day, I'd never get anything done. Guess I should leave again, she teased. You try that. We'll have a problem. I don't do problems, she murmured, holding me tighter. I need to tell you something, I said. I already know. No, Riley. This is important. She looked up. Her eyes changed, soft but serious. I'm serious about you too, she said. I just didn't realize it until I left. I called off the divorce, I admitted. Her eyes widened. She sat on the damp hood of my car. After everything she did? Judge wouldn't consider fraud. Said we could divorce if we settled financially. But fighting her in court, it wasn't worth it anymore. Then just write her a check, Riley said. Life's too short. Exactly, I nodded. I told her about Dana's games, how I'd walked away from the fight, the house, all of it. So, she doesn't live with you? Riley asked. No. You do now. Her voice softened. Are you doing this because you still have feelings for her? I forgot about her the moment I met you. Riley smiled. That was all she needed. That's all I needed to hear, she whispered. From that moment on, we picked up right where we left off on the ship and never looked back. She even dropped by the factory when she missed me, which was often. My secretary adored her. James, who took the job, liked her too.